Welcome geniuses, I'm Genie, your best buddy for A-levels. In this channel, we'll bring you to explore the secret formula behind success.
For today's lesson, I'm going to teach you about another type of integration, which is integration by substitution. So when the question mentioned about substitution, then you have to use this integration by substitutions method. For example, if you are given this question by using this substitution u equals to 8 plus e power x, you are asked to find this integration. This integration looks a bit complicated, and that's why we need to use the substitution method to make this integration becomes simpler and easier to solve. Alright, so there are just 3 steps to follow. Step 1 is to differentiate what is given. So what is given is u equals to 8 plus e power x. We will just need to differentiate u with respect to x, which is du dx. Then we will have e power x. So this is our step 1. Step 2, you will need to change the limits. So to change the limits, have a look here. These are the limits for the x. So we are supposed to change it into the u's limits. So when x equals to 0, you will just need to substitute into the u over here. You will get a 9. So when x equals to ln 8, same thing, we just sub into here, you should get a 16. So this is our second step, step 1 and step 2. And the last step, step 3, is to substitute. So let me copy the question here, 0 to ln 8 e power x over square root of 8 plus e power x dx. So how to substitute? There are just 3 things to substitute. 1. Substitute limits. Change from the x limits to the u's limits. Second, change all these x terms into u's terms. And the third one is change the dx into du. Alright, so let's start. The first one, change from 0 to ln 8. So the 0 is changed to 9. So we'll just write a 9 here. And the ln 8 is changed to 16. So we'll just follow 16 here. And then the e power x, if cannot be substitute, cannot be changed to the u, you just leave it there first. And the bottom part, 8 plus e power x is actually equals to u. So I'll just sub in the u at the bottom part here. As for the dx here, do not straight away change it into du. What you need to do is, at the first step, over here, you are supposed to express the dx in terms of du. And therefore, you will get dx equals to du over e power x. And now we'll substitute into here, du over e power x. Alright, so substitution method, you're supposed to change everything in terms of u, then only you can continue with the integration. So for now, there's still an x term, which is e power x. And so happen that this can be cancelled off. And therefore, you will have 1 over square root u du. So now notice that these limits are changed into u's limits. This one is changed into u's terms. And this is changed to du. And notice that now our integration actually becomes simpler. We'll just need to integrate 1 over square root u compared to this. E power x over square root 8 plus e power x is so complicated. So that's the purpose of using substitution method, to make the integration become simpler. So now let's start to integrate this. So before we start doing that, let's make it into u power negative half. And I'll just continue here. Integrate u power negative half. We'll get u power half. Divide by half, which is times a 2. And the limits is from 9 to 16. So now notice that this is in terms of u, and these are the u's limits. So we sub the u's limits into the u. So substitute the 16, we will get 8. Substitute 9, we should get a 6. And therefore the final answer is a 2. That's how we solve the question by using substitution method. Now, let's see how we can apply the substitution method in solving the past year question. So have a look here at this year. The year 2012, majoring paper, variance 32. And you are given this question, this integration question, and they will mention the word substitution. And they will let you know what to substitute, which is the u equals to square root 6 minus x. So by using substitution, you are asked to show this. That means you need to change from this to this. Alright, so follow the step. So what is given here is u equals to 6 minus x power half. So to differentiate this, we will have du dx, which is equals to half 6 minus x power negative half. And differentiate the one inside bracket, we should have a negative 1, which means we will have negative 1 over 2 square root 6 minus x. I'll arrange in this way so that it looks nicer. So that's our first step, differentiate what is given. Second step, change the limits. So what we have here is 2 and 5. So when x equals to 2, we are supposed to find the u's limits. So these 2, you have to sub into here to get the u's limit. So the u should be equals to a 2. And when x equals to 5, which is over here, substitute into here, the u should be equals to a 1. Alright, so this is how we change the x limits to the u's limits. And the step 3, you are supposed to substitute. So the original integration is from 2 to 5, 5 over x plus square root of 6 minus x dx. Alright, so let's change the limits from 2 to 5. Over here, it becomes from 2 to 1. So we just follow 2 to 1. So one thing to take note for substitution is not necessarily that the smaller limit is at the bottom. You will need to follow the substitution. The 2 is changed to 2, as for the 5 is changed to 1. And then what we need to substitute here, the 5 remains, and the bottom part, there's an x term, plus square root 6 minus x is actually the u. So you can just substitute the u into here. As for the dx, you can change the dx over here. This is du dx. So from here, to get the dx term, it should be negative 2 square root 6 minus x du. You can just rearrange it here. Dx is equals to negative 2 square root 6 minus x du, and substitute into here. And now let's check. Do we still have any x terms in this integration? Yes, it's over here and here. And we are supposed to change everything in terms of u. So let's change this x away. Should be 5 over. How to change this x away? So have a look at here. The u is equals to square root 6 minus x. So we will try to make x as the subject. So u square equals to 6 minus x, where x is equals to 6 minus u square. And therefore, now we can substitute x equals to 6 minus u square plus the u, times with negative 2, and square root 6 minus x is the u, and du. Alright, so now everything is in terms of u, which is what the question wants, but you have to arrange into the form that is requested. So notice that they have no negative sign here, and the limits here are different from ours, because there is a theory that when you apply the negative into the limits, these two limits can interchange. It becomes 1 to 2, and the negative will be disappeared. Alright, and then for the upper part, 5 multiplied with 2u, we should have 10u. As for the bottom part, you will just need to factorize it. Then you will automatically get 3 minus u times 2 plus u du. Alright, that's how we solve for the part 1 by using the substitution method. Let's continue with the part 2. You see the word hence, which means it's related to the part 1. Show that the integration is equals to 2 ln 9 over 2. So which means you are asked to integrate this. So let's try the part 2. So for the part 2, you are asked to integrate 1 to 2 for the 10u over 3 minus u and 2 plus u du. So for this is an algebra fraction where the bottom part can be factorized. So whenever you are integrating a fraction where the bottom part can be factorized, the first thing that we need to do is partial fraction. So let's try to do partial fraction at the side here. 10u over 3 minus u, 2 plus u. You will need to split into two fractions where the bottom part is 3 minus u and 2 plus u. Since both the factors are linear, the upper part you just need to put constant a and constant b. So this is from the chapter 1, partial fraction. If you forget how to do the partial fraction, you can refer to my previous videos. Right, so now we just need to substitute the u equals to negative 2. You should have negative 20 equals to 5b, and b equals to negative 4. And substitute u equals to 3, we will have 30 equals to 5a, and the a will be equals to 6. So for now, we just need to integrate the partial fraction, which is 6 over 3 minus u minus 4 over 2 plus u. So to integrate 6 over 3 minus u, we will have negative 6 ln 3 minus u. And to integrate the second term, we should have negative 4 ln 2 plus u. So for this one, you have to integrate it by using the ln. In case if you can't remember how to integrate by using ln, you can refer to my previous video as well. So now we can just substitute the limits from 1 to 2. So substitute 2, we should get negative 6 ln 1 minus 4 ln 4. And substitute the 1, we will have negative 6 ln 2 minus 4 ln 3. And to simplify this, ln 1 is actually equals to 0. Then we will just left with the negative 4 ln 4 plus 6 ln 2 and plus 4 ln 3. And according to what the question wants, they want in this form, 2 ln 9 over 2. So for now, let's combine it into a single ln. So we have 1 ln, single ln. So plus means multiply, minus means divide. So we have 6 ln 2, which is 2 power 6, multiply with 3 power 4, minus 4 ln 4 means divide 4 power 4. And hence, we should get ln 81 over 4. And to simplify it into what the question wants, you can just make it into 9 over 2 power 2, where the 2 can bring to the front, it becomes 2 ln 9 over 2. That's how we solve for this question. And that's all for the lesson today. Thanks for watching the video.
That's all for today's video. If you're interested in more genuine sharing by other geniuses, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell, ding dong. Also, if you're struggling with 1 or 2 past year questions and the mark scheme just doesn't seem to help, Genie has got you covered. Feel free to let us know what question it is by filling in the Google form linked in the description below. GenieUs Hub will get genius teachers to fulfill your request for the solution. Genie will see you next time. Bye-bye.